What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, one and only DRTV. It's currently 1:28 right now in the morning, but it's all good. God kept me up just to kind of come talk to y'all, so I'm gonna be obedient and I'm gonna talk. So I'm gonna let them use me, basically. So today I'll be coming from Proverbs. Let me go back. I'm on a lost footing, y'all. Give me a second, bear with me. So Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, 5th through the 8th verse. And it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. Do not be impressed with your own wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. In so many words, this speaks volume basically to this generation, I would say, because I could tell, like, in this generation, we are really not leaning on the promises and the understanding that God has given us in here. We're not leaning on God in anything that we do. And I can attest to it because I've been in situations where I saw myself not leaning on the promises of God and leaning on his understanding for my life. Instead, I did it on my own understanding. But going through it, leaning on your own understanding, let me give you a few examples of how it could lead you down a dark hole that you can't dig yourself out of, and you will have no choice but to turn to Christ. So I would say, just like with a lot of things, we think we know everything about life and we have it all figured out time we get out of high school. Because this was my, this is basically where I was in my life just a couple years back. You get out of high school and you think you know what you want to do, and you geared towards this specific career. Just say for the people that do go to college, for the people that don't, oh, I'm fixed on doing this, so-and-so. I'm fixed on, I'm going to basically have all this planned out and it's going to go this way. But God will come through and really straighten you out, basically. Allow you to bump your head enough to know that your understanding is far less than his great understanding that he has. So if we're leaning on our understanding, it kind of has a blank, like a limit, when we're not putting our trust in God. So like when I started out in college, basically, I'm in engineering currently right now, but I thought I would have everything planned out as far as money, having certain things in life, these carnal things, the materialistic things. But once he kind of humbled me just in my way of living, trying to do things on my own, trying to not praying. And I can attest to it. Like, I know people out there can attest to it, basically. Not praying, not being in my word, just living like I'm already saved from all the things that I inflicted on myself. And at the end of the day, I knew I wasn't okay. I had to really lock in and understand that God had something deeper. I was leaning on my own understanding, so I drove myself crazy trying to find my purpose. And then when you trying to lean on your own understanding, you would think you already have it figured out, and then God will come right back. He already had it figured out before you tried to come up with it in your head. But he'll come right back around and straighten you out, bro. Or sister, brother or sister, man. Like, he'll come back and straighten you out because I thought I had my life planned out to the T. But once I realized that it didn't go my way, I had to look up towards where my help comes from, and it comes from God. And when he directed my path and gotten my path straightened, I was like, man, like, I'm just in the point of life where I am going in the flow. You have to go in the flow of things, trusting him through the highs, the lows, the shaky parts of life, the weird, the ugly, and the bad. You know, all types of different phases that you do go through life. You have to completely trust in him, knowing that he will deliver you from all things that you cannot see. And I'm talking spiritually. So, you know, once I started to really lean on God, y'all, getting in his word, this where it all begins. When you start to develop that relationship, y'all, stick closer. You have to do it every day. Kind of like, you know, like when you go to the club, like I ain't gonna lie, I'm not condemning nobody, because I was once in that way of life, you know what I'm saying? Doing things that I didn't need to do. Just constantly trying to feed my flesh instead of feeding my spirit, man. And once I started to do those things, I saw a complete change. Not saying everything is perfect, but understanding that, you know, it was far greater for what God had on the inside and for the people around me. You know what I'm saying? Stop looking at life as just, oh yeah, if it ain't pertaining to me, I don't wanna, you know what I'm saying? But you have to understand that the things that God has put on the inside of you is not just for you, but it's for other people around you. Your life is used as a testimony. And I could truly say that about me currently being a YouTuber now, you know what I'm saying? I'm stepping out and leaning on God's understanding for my life, because that's where I grew my faith at, when I picked up this camera and just started talking to it. You know what I'm saying? And look where it's getting me. It's not just about where it's getting me, but the impact that he has placed on my ministry to help other people. You know, this is a ministry. Everybody has a ministry. Basically, like if you drive trucks, if you a teacher, if you are, you know, basketball player, whatever you do, it is a ministry in some type of way. God is using you. So allow him to use you, and it will be much better. You know what I'm saying? Instead of leaning on your own understanding, thinking that you have it all figured out when you really don't. So my message to you is to lean not on thine own understanding, but in all your ways lean on his understanding, meaning God, and he will direct your every move, your path, you know, wherever you go, he will direct you. So trust in him and believe that he will see you through. And that's all I have for y'all tonight. I love y'all, and I pray that y'all receive this message. And I pray that God not only continues to use me, but he'll use you to help bring glory to his name. I love y'all. Peace. Peace out. DRTV. We out. Good night.